Top advisors to Justin Trudeau are working with the incoming Trump administration to avoid a trade war. With more on that story, I'm joined by CTV's Michelle Boyer. Good morning to you, Michelle. Tell us about this Canadian delegation and who's been meeting with Donald Trump.
Well, ever since Donald Trump was announced president, Justin Trudeau's team has been reaching out to the incoming Trump administration to discuss a lot of issues that still remain really unknown, particularly Trump's position on both trade and international affairs. Now, we do know that Justin Trudeau has sent some of his top advisors to speak with the Trump administration, that being Jerry Butts and his chief of staff, Katie Telford, both in both Washington and New York City to meet with some of the Trump administration, including Steve Bannon, that is Donald Trump's chief strategist, and Jared Kushner, that's his son-in-law, also on the team there. So really working to reinforce and explain and communicate how important Canada is to the United States, and that relationship does in fact go both ways, Marcia.
Okay, so what does this mean for NAFTA? Do we have any indication yet?
No, at this point, no. But, NAFTA, we know Donald Trump has said he's going to scrap it, but a lot of that is directed at Mexico. Donald Trump, we know, it's obvious, he's not a fan of Mexico. And so he's also not a fan of American companies bringing in parts from outside or having vehicles manufactured outside of America. But what this means is, Donald Trump just can't necessarily tear up NAFTA. He will, if he tries anyways. Insiders are saying that he will face a huge amount of resistance. There are 35 states that depend on exports to Canada specifically. So, there's a chance that NAFTA could be reopened, renegotiated. And so these talks from Canadian authorities, from Canadian officials, I should say, with the incoming Trump administration, really some preliminary work to ease that transition and explain a little bit about how important the two countries are to each other.
Okay, and former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney is one of those people who has contact with Donald Trump. His team, how's he helping out?
Well, what we are told is, of course, he's a former progressive conservative. He is also part of those talks. Those apparently, they're neighbors down in Florida, Brian Mulroney and Donald Trump. That's what the Globe and Mail was reporting this morning. He was quoted as saying today that that Donald Trump is quite warm to Canada. So how he will help with those negotiations, remains to be seen. But it's interesting that Justin Trudeau, a Liberal, is bringing in a Conservative to help the relationship between the two countries.
All right, Michelle, thanks for that. We'll check in with you next hour.